Vision, transforming lives.
Okay. All right, we are back. Thank you so much for staying. As I had told you before, is that we are now talking about KRA. And I know that every time we're having this discussion, it's usually so many questions around it. But don't worry, we'll be getting to that. Okay? Now, I'll just do a small reminder that this is MBCI TV, where we transform lives by the grace of God. We were talking about cleft lip, cleft palate, and you were able to just discuss what that looks like and what's the treatment. And we got to understand that it's not as complicated, and the highlight was that cleft lip is not a disability. All right? Cleft lip, cleft palate, it's not a disability. And that's something that you can always work on. And even better, at Evans, it's free of charge. So enda pale, and you'll be treated. All right? Thank you so much for being here. If you're just joining us, my name is Rachel Kahugo. I'm so excited to be here. And I know that you have... you've had an amazing morning, because we've all had an amazing morning. But kama tundo to join, I hope and pray that you've had an amazing morning and you can't wait to hear from you. As I said before, we'll be having a discussion on KRA, filing taxes, you know, all that. The last time we had that discussion, we had so many questions around the same about filing taxes. How would you file taxes in terms of how much you get? Hiyo mambo yote ya revenue, tutakuwa tunaiongelea hapa. So karibu sana. We are waiting to get your questions and we'll be answering them. And our numbers for that, they're very open. That is 0721 105 105 on WhatsApp, 23814. Our SMS code, which is absolutely free of charge. Okay? We're live on Facebook on MBCI TV Facebook page. We're live on YouTube on MBCI TV official YouTube page. So you are welcome to join us on this conversation. And today on set, we are having Regina Mbira, who's from KRA, Nakuru office. And we are having Dennis Mwangi, who's also, of course, from KRA, Nakuru office. And they'd be able to answer all your questions. So if you have any question that's surrounding KRA, wale watu wa penalties. The other time we were having a conversation about penalties and you were wondering, what are you supposed to do from there? So this is where you ask all those questions and you'll be able to answer them. Karibuni sana.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you can't wait to just have this discussion and learn more about KRA and know what we are supposed to do to avoid the penalties as well.
Sure.
Because that will be very important. Yeah. Please introduce yourself. We'll start with you. That's your camera.
Well, thank you so much, Rachel.
Yeah.
I'm Regina Mbirwa from KRA, Nakuru office.
Okay.
Yes, and it's a great time to be here.
Perfect. All right. Please say hi to the people.
Thank you. My name is Kuria Dennis. Dennis Mwangi, Kuria. Commonly known as Dennis Mwangi.
Yeah.
And
all right. Maybe we are still on air. Yeah. For staying, and samahani sana for the technical hitch. We are back, and as I told you that we're having KRA and we're talking about filing tax. We're talking about everything KRA, literally everything KRA. Okay? Now, Dennis, please take us through your introduction once again.
thank you.
Yeah.
Again, sorry for the interference. Okay, my name is Dennis Mwangi. I come from Kenya Revenue Authority, Nakuru office.
Okay.
Ukikuja pale utatupata.
Okay.
And we are ready to serve you for free.
All right, for free.
Yeah.
Very important.
Our services are free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's start from the very beginning. KRA ni kina nani and what do you do?
Okay. KRA generally, to give just a brief history, even before KRA came into being,
Yeah.
people were paying taxes. KRA was started in 1995. I know some of us were born by then, some of us were not. But in 1995, July date 1, that's when KRA came into being.
Okay.
There was a parliamentary act. Now, its responsibility was to facilitate the government in collecting revenue. And what people doesn't know, yes, it's KRA that does the hard work.
Yeah.
Most of the work in tax collection, but the policies that KRA use has to come KRA. They come from somewhere.
Yeah. That is.
The two houses,
Okay.
the two big houses.
The two big houses.
You know them.
Perfect. All
The
right.
two big houses, they pass the law, then it comes now to KRA or any other implementation body,
Okay.
and the body starts implementing.
Okay.
That's why we usually say the main work of KRA is not necessarily collecting taxes, it's facilitating the collection. We use the policy that was passed,
Yeah.
we come apply it to Rachel.
Yeah.
Rachel, the policy said you need to contribute X% of your salary towards taxes.
Yeah.
So kindly, siul tulipe tu.
Yeah. Okay. So it's the facilitation.
It's facilitation.
Okay.
Then again, something that people don't like about us, we do tax assessment.
Not there.
Tax assessment ni kazi ya nakumbuka deputy principal,
Yes.
where you only meet him when you have done something wrong. If you are right, if you are doing the right thing,
Yeah,
that guy, you will never find him.
Okay.
But if you do something wrong,
Yeah.
kuna kitu alikuwa anafanya.
Yeah. Maybe before we even explain more about the tax assessment, let's talk about the percentages that tax.
That one, okay. There are different obligations,
Yeah.
and every obligation has its own percentage. And okay, that one we'll be talking about later. But generally, you find for someone like you and me who is salaried, the taxes are between 0% to 35%.
Yeah.
For a company, it's 30% of the profit.
Okay.
When it comes to things like the landlords, they have monthly rental income, they pay 7.5%, which is a reduction from previously 10%.
Okay.
Currently has been reduced to 7.5. VAT is 16%, and
Yeah.
VAT has a way of how VAT works, and people need to know this one. A company, by paying VAT, we call it agency taxes. Agency taxes, I mean, it's money collected on behalf of KRA.
Okay.
That's what we call indirect taxes. We have direct taxes. That's what now I was talking about. Taxes from salary,
Yeah.
tax from a company,
Yeah.
the monthly rental income, that's a direct tax. The indirect tax, these ones are the ones that you pay without necessarily, unless you are good, you might not know if you are paying them. For example, when you go to a supermarket,
Yeah.
like yesterday, which supermarket did you shop? That one. That one.
But you know, hey, the
That
adverts
one.
need to pay.
That one.
Yeah.
That supermarket
Ex
you went.
supermarket. Let's say Kahungu supermarket.
Kahungu supermarket. When you buy from a Kahungu supermarket, there are some taxes that are in the receipt. But unless you are keen, you might not know.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what we call indirect. The person who was charged that tax, that VAT, 16%,
Yeah.
is the buyer.
Okay.
So the work of Kahungu supermarket is to collect on behalf of KRA.
Okay.
Then at the end of the month, submit it to KRA.
Okay.
Haiko pesa yako.
Yeah. So it doesn't benefit you at all.
It was not your money.
Yeah.
It's money collected on behalf of KRA.
Okay. So how is it integrated in businesses, the supermarkets, for example?
Okay. As you do your business, you need to, if you are VAT registered, you need to charge VAT
Yeah.
from your clients. Then again, when you're, okay, yes, you're selling a product X,
Yeah.
but when you're supplying this product, you might not be the one manufacturing it. You might be sourcing it from another supplier.
Okay.
For example, you might be selling sugar from X manufacturer.
Yeah.
You are Kahungu supermarket buying sugar from manufacturer X, bring it here, then distribute or sell.
Yeah.
When you're buying from X manufacturer, you'll be charged some VAT. Then when coming to sell, you're being selling at a certain VAT amount.
Will it be the same?
No.
Okay.
The one you're selling will be higher because remember you are buying, for example, at 100 shillings, then selling at 110.
Okay.
So the VAT you are selling at is a little higher than the VAT you bought.
Okay.
Then now how the maths now come to match is what you're supposed to pay is the balance between what you sold versus what you bought.
Okay. Okay.
For example,
I think I get you.
You bought at VAT of 10 shillings, you sold at VAT of 12 shillings. Now 12 minus 2. Not 12, 12 minus 10. You pay 2 shillings.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But if
No,
you don't follow the law, you might end up paying the 12 shillings if you don't follow the right channel.
Okay.
For example, kununua kwa backdoors.
Yeah. All right.
So do the right thing, and the business will be able to balance itself.
Yeah.
Like now, this business, if you do the right thing, if I do the right thing, I might end up to paying 2 shillings per kg.
Okay.
When you do the wrong thing, you might end up paying 12 shillings per kg.
Yeah.
Just because you are using wrong channels.
Because you're using the back
right
door.
thing. But if you do the right thing, that's why now KRA is here to make sure that people do the right thing.
Okay. Okay.
When you do the right thing, it's cheaper for you, and we avoid kimbizana sana,
All right.
and we are smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I know there's more we'll be talking about, Regina, but maybe for a start, on your side, let's talk about the people who file nil taxes. Hawa ni kina nani? Because you say that this is a team that they are blessed and highly favored, because how are you filing nil, surely?
Yeah, what are you eating?
Yeah.
Okay, the issue of nil returns, it is a valid return by law, because a nil return just means you have no income, you have not earned any income in that particular tax year. So specifically say a student, you know, we are not expecting really much of them to have a source of income because they are students. So they are allowed by law to file a new return. But on the other hand, it is a source of, you know, it's a gray area. Because if I'm not able to ascertain what income you are getting, say for maybe a briefcase company, you know, some businesses are not really, you know, so much in our radar, they end up filing the new returns. But it has a repercussion, because if we come to, you know, to the knowledge that you have an income, that's where the tax assessments Dennis is talking about coming. We will assess you, we will tell you, we have information that you earned this amount of money, you did not pay your portion of tax.
Okay.
So we will assess you and demand the taxes from you.
Okay.
That's why Dennis is saying, if you do the right thing, there will be no friction. You know, it will be a very smooth sailing between us and yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so does that come with a penalty?
Yes, it does come with a penalty. It's a, you know, it's a tax shortfall penalty. You failed to declare your taxes.
Yeah.
We came in and assessed you.
And then we realized.
You know. So on top of the tax you have to pay, you will pay a penalty, you will pay an interest. It becomes higher for nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, for that, is there a certain percentage of penalty or a certain amount of penalty that you're supposed to pay for that? Okay.
For that, if we assess you, number one, you will pay a late filing penalty. Say for VAT, that will be 10,000. And then a tax shortfall penalty, a percentage of the tax that you were to pay, which is 5%. If you were to pay, say, a VAT of 10,000, you will pay another 10,000 for not filing the correct return. And then a tax shortfall of 5% of the 10,000, and an interest of 1% every month on top.
What? Okay.
It's not.
So it's better to just.
It's better to comply.
Yeah.
We are here to advocate for voluntary compliance.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, for the people who they do file returns.
Yeah.
But kidogo dates zinawapita.
Yeah.
And they're very honest. You see, it happens,
Yeah.
doesn't it? But that's why we are here to tell you to file as early as you can.
Yes.
But then, if it just happens that you do late filing of your returns,
Yeah.
is there a penalty
Yes.
for that?
Yes. Every late filing, say for pay as you earn, is 10,000. VAT, if you fail to file and pay by the 20th of every month, a penalty of 10,000. Income tax for companies, late filing, 20,000.
What?
Late filing for an individual,
Yeah.
like right now, we are already in the filing season.
Yeah.
Yes, for individual returns, the filing should be done by 30th of June. If you come 1 second past that midnight,
Yeah.
that is 1st July, you have a penalty of 2,000 shillings.
So for the people who've not been filing taxes.
Yeah, for the people who've not been filing,
Yeah.
we've come bearing good news. Yes, and
But there's good news.
there's good news.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. This is good.
Yeah.
We will get there.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the filing process. What does that look like for someone who's hearing about the penalties and they're saying, this is the time we need to file immediately? What's the process?
Okay, before we can talk about the process, there is something that people confuse. There is a difference between paying taxes and filing. The two
tell
are
us about
different. Filing is basically declaring your income.
Yeah.
Like what our parents used to tell us, wakati wameenda soko wakirudi, Rachel, tell me what you did today. Just that simple.
Yeah.
So Kerry is asking you, how much did you earn that period? Tell us. Then now you, through the system, sometimes back they used to do it manually, filling some forms, which was a bit tedious.
Yeah.
But currently we are on iTax platform, which is a bit easier to use as compared to the forms, and it's accessible at any place.
Okay.
So there is a way you declare how much you earned.
Okay.
Per obligation. Per obligation, I mean if you are a landlord and you are supposed to pay monthly rental income, you declare how much you earned.
Okay.
If you are an employee, you declare how much your employer paid you. Then now from there comes now the percentages. The percentages we're talking about.
Okay.
If you had a zero income, the payment is a percentage of the income. So if the income is zero, a percentage of zero,
Zero.
nothing.
Yeah.
Then if you are in like a landlord, you earned some money. For example, you collected 30,000.
Yeah.
30,000, 7.5% is how much? Around 2,000 and something. Around 2,500, around approximately there. That's what you're supposed to pay. Now that's when now we come to the next level, payment.
Okay.
Now you pay the 2,000 and some few hundred.
Yeah.
That's the difference now between filing and paying. Filing is just declaring.
Yeah.
Payment now is the actual now. After now computing, we tell you based on what you did, this is how much you need to pay.
Yeah.
Then you proceed to make the payment.
Okay.
Then there is something I would like to caution people. All tax payments are done either through M-Pesa payment, M-Pesa pay bill, the one government pay point, 222, or through bank deposit. And for you to do that, you need what we call a payment slip. Any person who advocates or asks you to pay through any other method, kindly Rachel, you have 10,000 to pay, send it to this number, 07123445. Just say no, I won't pay that.
They're lying.
They're lying.
Yeah.
If someone gives you a different pay bill number other than 222, just say no.
Okay.
Or if I give you my bank account, the bank account name is Dennis Mwangi, account number 123, just say no, I won't pay that one.
Okay.
Because that's not the right way.
Okay.
Na hiyo ni kunyang'anywa.
Yeah. Na itakuwa registered.
Itakuwa registered.
Yeah.
So how you pay is through a payment slip. You get to the bank or 222.
Okay.
Then filing time, because every obligation has a timeline. And what it could be, okay, for example, an individual, you have a good 6 months to file your return. Give me a good reason why you are late.
They forgot, Dennis, they forgot. Yeah.
There is no good reason
Yeah.
to be late because you have a good 6 months. And filing doesn't take a whole day.
Yeah.
You can take 5-10 minutes and you are done.
Okay.
So out of the 6 months, Rachel,
Please spare the 10 minutes.
Will cost 10 minutes.
Please make sure that you file, or you just pay the penalty. And why pay the penalty?
Ikikuja ni the monthly returns. Unapata kuna return iko na 20 days to file. So out of the 20 days, haukupata just 1 day to file. So unapata finally you are charged the penalty, and rarely will you have an excuse.
Okay. Okay.
Because hakuna excuse valid.
Hakuna excuse. Surely hakuna excuse. Hapo hakuna excuse. Now, you said that filing takes around 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Actually, it doesn't take a lot of time. So for the people who are hearing about this for the very first time, they haven't been filing taxes. Wamekuwa wakiishi to assuming KRA. Now we are here to bring the good news that what they do is beneficial to you as well. Now, what is the process like?
Okay. Acha niwaambie directly. Okay. For someone, and the people who are highly affected, the people who have realized they are highly affected ni wale watu, and the student or the aged people, our parents.
Yeah.
Unapata, you are a parent, you took your KRA PIN to apply for KPLC meter. For Nakuru tukona na Wasco. Other towns kuna other Wascos.
Yeah.
And another group, okay, students, those people who applied for PIN, then kuna employees. Every person, as far as ukona PIN, make sure you file your return. And how to file, you just get to iTax. Every return has its own procedure. Now ukishindwa, don't stay there on your own. Come to your offices. We have offices all over the country, or a Huduma Center.
Yeah.
Na tunakusaidia for free. Ukipata cyber unaweza trust, still you can go there, but cyber atakucharge.
Yeah.
But when you come to us, it's free. But if you have not been filing your return, definitely kutakuwa na penalty. Lakini don't jump the gun. Tuweke penalty kidogo. Regina atatuambia how to deal with penalties.
Okay.
So if you are there, you have never filed, just come to offices. Tutaku-facilitate for free. Okay. And also the procedure, Regina atatuambia, pia tutakusaidia. All
right. Let's jump into it already. Please take us through.
The good news. We have a tax amnesty program, an ongoing tax amnesty program.
Yeah.
Yes, the amnesty was there in the last financial year that ended 30th of June 2024. But from tax amendments, Tax Procedures Amendments Act that came into being on 27th December 2024, we reintroduced the tax amnesty where if you have any penalty, as long as there's no outstanding principal taxes, you have a penalty. A principal tax is a tax due after you have declared your return, and there's a tax payable at the end of it.
Okay.
As long as there's no that principal tax, you have incurred penalties since 1990s. We are here to say that we are waiving 100% of those penalties, interests, and fines.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, that maybe before we continue.
Yeah.
For the people who have these penalties because they haven't been filing the taxes, that means they don't even know what they were supposed to pay.
Yeah.
Is it a whole waiver for them as well? Or you'd have to go back and see if there's a tax you are supposed to pay and pay that?
Yes, well, we first of all go back and see. If from 1997 you had some principal taxes that were pending, we will let you know.
Okay.
And you can also view the same from your, the iTax accounts. Yes, every person with a PIN has an iTax account.
Yeah. Yes,
they can be able to view any pending principal taxes that were due to them up to the periods 31st December 2023. What do I mean by a tax period? Is any return that is ending 31st December 2023, meaning anything from 1st January 2024 that is not covered in the amnesty period. Yes, it's just 31st December 2023 all the way back to 1995.
Okay.
Yes, as long as only the penalties and interest are there and the fines, we granting 100% waiver.
Okay.
And how will you know? If you log into your iTax account, you're able to view your ledger and see that there are no penalties that are, pending in your ledger.
Okay.
Also, we send those amnesty certificates to your email. You're able to see a certificate in your email. It's an official document you can present somewhere. Hamunidai mulinipatia hii.
Okay.
Yes, and it's it's a done deal.
Okay.
It's not something that we will backtrack and say, oh, we made a mistake and this and this. It's 100% waiver for all.
Okay.
But as long as there are no outstanding principal taxes, as long as you have filed all your returns, filing is now the declaration bit Dennis was talking about. You file all your returns because there's no waiver for something you have not declared. Let us know. I earned only 100,000, and this is it. There's no tax to be paid, but there's this penalty.
Okay.
Please waive this for me.
Okay.
And it is done automatically.
All right.
Yes, there's no need of intervention from middlemen. It's automatic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Now let's talk about the people who are eligible to paying the tax, not filing, to paying the tax. Is it everyone, or is it a group of people who are earning a certain amount of money?
Eligibility to pay tax is subject now to people who are earning a certain amount of money.
Okay.
Because number one, we have people living with disability, and they have an exemption certificate of up to 1.5 million every year.
Okay.
So that is not someone who is eligible to pay tax, as long as
But they have to file?
They have to file.
Okay.
Yes, they file and they tell us we have this tax exemption certificate. We will not demand any taxes from them.
Okay.
The other group of people is people earning less than 24,000 shillings every month.
Okay.
There is no tax to be paid. As much as there are other levies to be paid, there is no aspect of pay as you earn tax.
Okay.
Or an income tax on that person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I see. Now, for the people who are wondering about their account, wanashanga, hizi sasa mnasema iTax, tutazitoa wapi?
Yeah.
Surely we've not even be filing taxes. How are we supposed to know about the account? Please take us through it.
Okay. From your PIN, you registered an email address. From that email address, if you go to itax@kra.go.ke, you enter that PIN number. It's an 11-digit code starting with an alphabet, ending with an alphabet. Enter the PIN there. If you have no password, we have a forget password option. You're able to reset your password, and a new system-generated password will be sent to that registered email address. If you have forgotten your email address, you can be able also to change your email address. You can come to the office or even contact us through our KRA contact center, our call center. Yes, and also our online platforms, KRA Care, KRA Facebook. There's a KRA account on Instagram. You can be able to put in your request that you have forgotten your email and ask for a change of email so that you can get your new password and you can be able now to log into your iTax profile. Yes. Okay. Dennis is saying filing is easy, and I can guarantee it is easy. You can do it at the comfort of your home.
Yeah.
Just logging in to your profile and Viola, you've filed your return.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, maybe we'd come to Dennis, and I see there are questions that are coming in. Now, I'd love just to remind you that if you have any question about KRA, we'll be getting to answer your questions. All right? Through our WhatsApp number that I had told you before, that is 0721105105 23814, our SMS code, which is absolutely free of charge. And of course on Facebook, on MBCI TV, and on YouTube on MBCI TV official YouTube page. Now, Anasema, good morning. I'm Charity, and my question is, I'll direct it to you. Anasema, if I'm employed and my employee have my KRA PIN and tax my salary, am I supposed to tax again? Okay.
If I'm employed?
If I'm employed and my employee, I think she's my employer. Yeah. If I'm employed and my employer have my KRA PIN and they tax my salary, am I supposed to get taxed again?
Okay. I think what is confusing is being taxed and filing.
Yeah.
Filing is a must. Whether you're employed, whether you are not employed, bottom line, filing. Let's put this one across. Filing is a must.
Okay.
Failure to file, it attracts a penalty at a certain rate.
Yeah.
2,000, 10,000, 20,000 for different obligations. But now the next level, we said it's payment. Now she's employed. I'm employed, you're employed. What the employer does, they deduct pay every month, then they remit every month.
Yeah.
Then by the end of the year, that's when now you come and declare that in that whole year, my employer was paying me X times 12.
Yeah.
X times 12, that's what he was taxing me. Then paying you as a salary. Then the system will compute.
Okay.
Having been paid a salary of 12x. Okay, let's use figures. I was being paid 50,000 per month. 50 times 12, that is 600. So for the whole year, I was paid 600,000. The system will compute a tax.
Okay.
For rough estimate, let's say the system computes tax to be 7,000 per month. So the system will say that out of the 600,000 that you're paid, you're supposed to pay tax of 7,000 times 12. Is it, how much is that?
It's
Not 54, 84.
Yeah, 84.
84. So the system will compute and tell you are supposed to pay a tax of 84,000.
Okay.
Then you proceed with the statement. You are filling an Excel. Then the next stage that you will feel is that, but my employer deducted me 84,000.
Okay.
So the two statements, the carry statement, you're supposed to pay 84, and the employer paid 84. So how much are you supposed to pay? Zero.
Yeah.
But if the employer made an error, instead of deducting 84, deducted 83, then you need to pay 1,000 shillings. If the employer did a mistake again, instead of taxing 84, taxed 90, then you'll have a refund of 6,000. And you can follow up.
Will you get a refund?
It's possible. People get refund. Yeah.
Okay, people get refund?
Yes.
Okay.
As long as it's a valid one and the right thing was done, then you will be able to get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And will it happen by any chance that my employer amekuwa akini deduct but ye hajakuwa akilipa? Would that come back to me, or that would be an employer problem?
When you get to that, okay, remember this money that is being deducted, it does not belong to the employer. It's your money. It's only that the law doesn't allow salaried people to pay taxes by their own. It goes through the employer. You are supposed to pay it by yourself if the law allowed. So if you realize your employer is doing that, he's deducting you but not remitting, then you have a channel you can report and say there is someone here evading taxes or running away with taxes. We have a channel we call iWhistle. You can go there. It's an anonymous reporting. So you don't, if you want to be made known, there is an option of saying I'm okay to be known. If you prefer to be anonymous, still you can remain anonymous. Just disclose. We have I'm Rachel. I have my employer called MBCI. They usually deduct me this amount, but they don't. I've realized they are not remitting. Now someone from care will do now what we are talking about, the assessment. Will come, look into it. If they notice that it's true, MBCI have not been paying, then they will be charged. If you preferred to be known, you can get up to 5%. You can get a 5% reward. The amount that Kerry gets, 5% utapata kama reward. That is if you choose to be known. But if you choose to be anonymous, then
unabaki anonymous.
Unabaki anonymous. And you can get up to 5 million. Yeah.
Okay, I hear you. And my hashtag Kerry, I want to ask, why do they give waivers and still ask you to pay? The penalty comes out, me picking a KRA pin as a student and didn't know that I was required to file. So this is a student. They didn't know they were required to file the returns. Probably alichukua tu KRA because she anafungua bank account or something, because most of them do that. And now anauliza, why do they give a waiver and still ask you to pay? Is that possible? Would you give a waiver and then ask?
I think is it a he or she?
One of the two.
One of them.
Oh, it's a she.
She. I think she's talking from the previous regime. Previous regime, there were waivers. And waiver, it was hard to get 100% waiver. The maximum was 50.
50%
50%.
For students?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was just a leniency towards students. Other people, you couldn't get the waiver because you needed a good reason, not an excuse.
A good reason.
A reason why you are not able, not why you couldn't, you are not able to file a return.
Okay.
A good example is someone who was bedridden the whole period. So the waiver regime was a bit hard to get a benefit, and you have had the maximum for a student was 50%. So if you had a penalty of, let's say, 10,000, pay 5, then the 5 will be waived.
Okay.
That was the waiver regime. But now with amnesty, you're being waived of everything.
Yeah.
The only thing you're supposed to pay is the principal taxes. She said she was a student. Student meaning she was not working.
Yeah.
So the principal tax is already 0. He said taxes or the principal tax is a percentage of your income. Her income is 0.
Yeah.
So a percentage of 0 is 0.
0.
So already she has fulfilled the condition that the principal is 0. Now the next condition, has she filed the return up to date?
So she needs to file
all the
update all the returns.
Up to date.
Okay.
Then penalties for an individual is for every year. And you, as we are speaking today, you cannot get a penalty for 2024.
Okay.
Because the return is due between January, this January, up to June. So 2024, you won't be having a penalty.
Yeah.
But 2023, it was due by June 2024.
Next year. Okay.
So you will have a penalty for that one, but it's covered because you said the waiver is up to December 2023.
Yeah.
Backwards.
Okay.
So she has a chance. Come forward, file your returns, and get 100% amnesty. Nothing to pay.
Yeah. Kwa hivyo uko sawa. Don't worry. Don't worry. For now you are at 0 as long as you file all the returns.
Yes.
Maybe Regina, for someone who's listening now and they're saying that they'd want to just file all the returns.
Yeah.
Uni mtaja kwake. Natetea wana wajo kwake file at all. So they've not filed their returns at all. And they now want to file all the returns.
Yeah.
How would they backtrack and file all the returns?
Okay, the system will prompt you.
Yeah.
From when you applied for the PIN, it will prompt you need to file the returns as from that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't need, to worry that you don't know from when you have to file.
Yeah.
The system will prompt you as long as you log into iTax, because now all the return filing is done online.
Yeah.
Yes, through the online platform.
Okay.
It will prompt you from when last you filed. If it is 2015, it will prompt you to file from 2015.
Okay.
And then you go updating the returns up to now what is due for 2024.
Yeah.
Again, another thing that our viewers need to note, the amnesty period is not lasting forever. It is about to end in a few days. In a few days, let me call them days because it's not a year.
Yeah.
Yes, in a few days because it is running up to 30th of June this year, 2025.
Okay.
So you need to update your filing up to 2023 or even up to 2024. Of course, we are not we are not correcting and then adding another penalty on top. Update your filing, check your records that you have no principal taxes, and you will automatically enjoy the amnesty, the 100% waiver. The other thing that they need to note is that right now there's no longer any provision for waiver. Even as per the law.
Yeah.
The waiver provisions were repealed. So after the amnesty period, because now the amnesty is coming to correct all these historical, penalties.
Yeah.
After this correction, there is no longer a waiver provision. Meaning any mistake from now, any penalties from now, it's either you pay, and if you feel they are erroneous, we have other processes, to handle those penalties. But anything called a waiver, we will no longer hear about a waiver. So this is the best time for everyone to get their records in order. Yeah.
Okay. Very important.
Yes.
Now, there's a question here, and I know that there are people who are asking these questions as well. And she's saying, must I file a return when I really have no income?
Yes,
Lazima mtu file nil?
Yes, you need to.
Why?
We need to know it is a nil. We need to know that you had no income. Well, one of our, let me call them, is it a logo, a slogan,
Yeah.
or our aim is tulipe ushuru tujitegemee.
Yeah.
Every Kenyan needs to pay some portion of tax if this country is to kujitegemea,
Yeah.
is to stand on its own. If you have no income, we won't demand anything from you.
Yeah. Okay.
So we are not really, we are not unjust, to demand something when there is nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. But then you have to declare that
But
there's
you
nothing.
have to declare, my friends, there
That's
was nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I hear you. And I love that you've said that what you're paying is for us.
Yes.
The tax that you're paying is for us.
Yeah.
It's for the tax to help us.
Yes.
Okay. I hear you. Now, for the people who would love to engage with you on social media, your numbers to ask questions, is there that provision?
Okay. Carry pia tumeenda digital. We are in digital platform.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a YouTube channel. You can get there, watch our videos.
Yeah.
If you are looking for specific information, you can watch it there. We are in Facebook, we're in Instagram, we are in, is it Twitter or X?
X.
In X,
Yeah.
or previously known as Twitter.
Yeah.
Or in those platforms, then you can make a call to us or email our call center.
Okay.
The email is callcenter@kenya.go.ke. Phone number is 0711 0 then 9 mara 5.
Okay.
07
Uh-huh.
110 then 99999.
Okay. It's on your screens.
On the
And you
screen.
can- yeah.
That's the first one. The other one is 020 4 again 9 5 times.
Okay.
0204. I think 9. This one is 9 6 times.
Yeah.
0204. Then 9 6 times.
Okay. Perfect. So that is it. Thank you so much for that. On YouTube and on social media pages, is it just KRA?
Yes.
Yeah.
On YouTube as well, KRA.
On YouTube is KRA.
Okay.
On FB and
Carry care.
it's KRA Care.
KRA Care
Yeah.
on the other social media
Yes.
pages. All right. That was good news for sure. So if you're there and you know for sure that you have penalties. Unajua mnajijua watu wenye hamjakuwa mkifile taxes. When you have a penalty, you know we've been talking about these even here in studio. We've been talking about filing taxes and what the penalties look like and the people who've been giving waivers before. So if you're there and you need a waiver, this is when you just jump into the Amnesty, and just make sure that you get 100%. You said it's 100% waiver.
100%.
100% waiver.
Yes.
Yeah. So please, ingia pale iTax. It's iTax, yeah?
Yes, I tax
Yeah.
at kra.go.ke.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Ingia pale so that you'd be able to clear everything, put your records straight. That will work so well for you. All right? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for clearing the air about the amnesty as well. That has been very important, and for allowing people to know about KRA, the people who didn't know about what you do, and just allowing us to know that whatever you're doing, it's for our benefit.
Yeah.
You're just helping us to help ourselves.
Yes.
You're helping us to pay taxes that will help us at the end.
Yes.
So thank you so much for that.
you.
Thank you for tuning in. It has been amazing. We've learned so much about KRA. If you need to just confirm or affirm anything that we've talked about today, you can always go back. We've been live on Facebook on MBCI TV. We've been live on YouTube on MBCI TV Official, and you'll be able to get the whole discussion right there. Share these as much as you can. To remember the amnesty, inaisha date 30th of June.
Yes.
Yeah, 30th of June. So ikifika pale, hakutakuwa na waivers tena. And why do you have to pay all that? Really, why do you have to pay all that? So you can just take advantage of the time that you have in between now and 30th of June. All right? Once again, asanteni. God bless you. Remember, from 12:30, we'll be having the lunch hours right here at Kingdom Seekers Fellowship, Nakuru. And good news, we have a conference ongoing, Carriers of Glory Conference. So all the young people in Nakuru, in Nairobi, in Nyeri, in Kenya, this is the place for you, Kingdom Seekers. So come so that you would be impacted, so that you would know that for sure you're a carrier of glory. All right? And you've had an amazing time right from Monday And I know that so far, kama umekuwa hapa, you've seen, you've been impacted. Your life has been transformed, as we always say. So make sure ukuje so that you'd continue getting impacted. And as you can see on your screens, it's already ongoing. So make sure ukuje. When you hear by yourself, it's even better. You get to encounter God. All right. So thank you so much. Once again, God bless you. God be with you. We'll see you next week on the same show on Wednesday from 7:35 till 10 in the AM. But until then, God bless you. God be with you. Bye-bye.